You're watching Nightline and I am Zahir, Kelvin and Abdullah. The top stories: Malaysia and Qatar to enhance investment cooperation in the coming years. And Sarawak secondary schools to teach science and maths in English from 2026. The Prime Minister has kicked off his mission to woo new investments from West Asia with his first official visit to this capital city of Qatar. Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim, who is also the Finance Minister, will offer insights on Malaysia's expansive investment landscape and the current trajectory of the Malaysian economy. Anwar is in Doha, beginning his three-day official visit to Qatar at the invitation of the Emir of Qatar, Sheikh Tamim bin Hamad Al Thani, as well as to attend the Qatar Economic Forum 2024. Upon arrival, the Malaysian delegation were received by Qatari Minister of State for Foreign Affairs, Sultan bin Saad Al Muraiki, as well as Foreign Minister Datuk Seri Muhammad Hassan and Malaysian Ambassador to Qatar, Zamshari Shaharan. And in conjunction with his visit, he was accorded an official welcome at the Amiri Diwan of Qatar. Anwar was received by the Emir of Qatar, Sheikh Tamim bin Hamad Al Thani, upon arrival at the Emir's administrative complex at 10:30 a.m. local time, before the two leaders proceeded to a four-eyed meeting. The Prime Minister also met with his Qatari counterpart, Sheikh Mohammed bin Abdul Rahman Al Thani, who is also the Foreign Affairs Minister. Among the issues discussed is an update on the current situation in Gaza, especially as Israel continues its aggression on the Palestinians with the latest invasion into the southern city of Rafah. The Prime Minister's visit has been deemed important for the bilateral relations between the two countries as they mark the 50th anniversary of their diplomatic ties this year. The last meeting between the two leaders occurred last month in Riyadh, where they also discussed Qatar's significant role in the Palestinian-Israeli negotiations towards achieving an immediate and enduring ceasefire. This is Anwar's first official visit to Qatar after being appointed as Prime Minister. Last year, Malaysia's total bilateral trade with Qatar amounted to 4.2 billion ringgit as the Gulf state became Malaysia's fifth largest trading partner, sixth largest export destination, and sixth largest import source from the West Asia region. And at a roundtable meeting hosted by Malaysia's Investment, Trade and Industry Ministry, Estithmar Holdings and Balatna are among Qatar's largest companies by market capitalization that attended the session. The roundtable meeting with captains of industry is part of Malaysia's aggressive efforts to attract more high-quality investments into the country. More than 30 top executives and business leaders took the opportunity to meet with Anwar as he briefed them on the latest investment climate in Malaysia, while convincing them that the country could be their preferred investment destination and competitive trade partner. The companies that attended the roundtable are mostly from the services, manufacturing, as well as investment sectors. Anwar spent about 1 hour in an interactive session to engage and update Qatari businessmen on the Malaysian economy, business ecosystem, as well as the new industrial master plan. On his meeting with his Qatari counterpart, Sheikh Mohammed, Anwar in his social media post said that it focused on the tension in West Asia and aspects of strengthening investment between Malaysia and Qatar. The Prime Minister said both leaders discussed in depth about the war in Gaza, which needs concerted efforts to end the suffering of Palestinians. On the economy, Anwar said Putrajaya and Doha have agreed to enhance investment cooperation between the two countries in the coming years. The Prime Minister said he hoped that the bond of friendship between Malaysia and Qatar will continue to grow for mutual benefit. The Kuala Lumpur City Hall, DBKL, has been ordered to take immediate action by cutting down high-risk trees around the city. Minister in the Prime Minister's Department for Federal Territories, Dr. Zaliha Mustafa, who issued the directive, also instructed DBKL to improve the shade tree management plan and to develop new guidelines for old and high-risk trees. Zaliha's directive came following multiple fallen trees in Kuala Lumpur on Monday. The minister said this is to prevent similar incidents from occurring in the long term. She also instructed DBKL to accentuate its tree replacement program, including examining methods to ensure the trees remain solid and safe for the long term. The falling of trees occurred after a storm swept through the federal capital. It uprooted 5 trees and damaged a house and at least 8 vehicles. According to the Fire and Rescue Department, a tree which fell in Jalan Pinang damaged 3 cars and 5 motorcycles, including a police vehicle that was escorting Malacca Chief Minister Datuk Sri Abdul Rauf Yusoff's convoy. It is understood the police vehicle, a Proton X70, was escorting a 3-vehicle convoy, one of which was carrying Rauf to a meeting in the city centre.
Tatkala itu kenderaan saya tidak bergerak memandangkan suasana cuaca waktu ketika itu tidak mengizinkan kenderaan saya bergerak. Manakala polis yang mengiringi saya baru saja melintas di kawasan tersebut, tapi malang pokok tersebut juga menghempap di bahagian belakang kereta pengiring saya. Alhamdulillah, saya berada dalam keadaan yang selamat.
Meanwhile, 2 trees fell at the University Malaya, one at the Faculty of Medicine and the other at the university's examination building, damaging 2 parked cars. 2 other trees were also reported to have fallen at Jalan Rahmah and Jalan Selesa Satu in Taman Gembira, damaging the roof of a house. No casualties were reported in the incidents. The fire department was collaborating with DBKL to conduct tree cutting and cleaning operations in the affected areas. The government is actively engaged with its ASEAN counterparts to propel regional initiatives such as the ASEAN Power Grid aimed at fortifying energy connectivity and security. Deputy Prime Minister Datuk Sri Fadillah Yusof said through the exchange of resources, knowledge and technology, the country can expedite the adoption of green technologies in fostering a collective stride towards sustainability. Fadillah said Malaysia will continue to engage with its key stakeholders and maintain open dialogues to ensure the strategies remain finely attuned to both local and global trends. This includes steering the country steadfastly towards its shared vision of a sustainable future. Fadillah, who is also the Energy Transition and Water Transformation Minister, also stressed that his ministry has extended its collaborative endeavours to embrace diverse private sectors ranging from utilities to energy companies.
Bila coal, arang batu dihapuskan, kita masa ini akan bergantung kepada gas. Gas pula makin mahal sebab kita terpaksa import gas. Jadi kita kena cari alternatif yang lain. Sebab itu alternatifnya solar, hydrogen dan biomass.
Fadillah said this after attending the 2024 ASEAN Green Hydrogen Conference in Kuala Lumpur on Monday. The minister also mentioned that significant potential needs to be seen in Sarawak and Sabah, which is situated in the centre of ASEAN, presenting an opportunity for the country to become a supplier of new renewable energy for the future. Sarawak secondary schools will begin teaching science and mathematics in English starting 2026. State Education, Innovation and Talent Development Minister Datuk Sri Roland Saga said this was one of several pivotal points agreed to by the ministry in the devolution of education powers to Sarawak.
The medium of instruction in English shall only begin when the first cohort reaches secondary school in 2026. And will proceed to pure science subjects in 2029 for those who qualify. Guided by our AG Chambers, Attorney General, my ministry and the MOE are currently in the process of formalizing these agreed upon points into circulars and regulations to ensure their adherence and continuity in the future.
Saga was speaking at his winding-up speech at the Sarawak Legislative Assembly on Monday. According to him, the Education Ministry had agreed for Sarawak secondary schools to use English as the medium of instruction for mathematics, additional mathematics, biology, chemistry and physics. This will apply to Form 1 students in 2026 who would also have completed their primary school learning in English. Sarawak's Dual Language Program, DLP, was first implemented in 2016 to allow schools the choice of using English as a medium of instruction in science and mathematics subjects as part of the Upholding Malay Language and Strengthening English policy. Buses from Thailand are allowed to enter Malaysia to bring in tourists. Transport Minister Anthony Lok Siu Phuk, who made this announcement on Monday, said the condition for such tour bus operators is they must first apply for temporary permits from the Land Public Transport Agency, APAT, in advance. Speaking to the media in Kelantan on Monday, the minister said that tour bus operators only need to furnish complete information, including details of the tour package, the number of passengers and the location of the accommodation.
Kalau ada mana-mana bas Thailand nak masuk, dia hanya perlu buat permohonan khas, permohonan kepada APAT. APAT boleh luluskan untuk LPS. Apa ni yang dipanggil sebagai permit sementara. Ya. Permit sementara itu membolehkan mereka masuk. Apa yang kita cross-pasakan ialah Thailand ini dia banyak van. Van yang masuk ni dia kadang-kadang dia ambil penumpang. Itu tak dibenarkan.
The media previously reported that the Kelantan government has requested the Transport Ministry to allow tourist buses from Thailand to enter the state in conjunction with the Visit Kelantan 2024 campaign. Earlier, Lok attended the opening ceremony of the first phase operation of Sultan Ismail Petra Airport's expansion and upgrade project. The minister said that the airport runway will be extended by 400 meters as approved by the cabinet last week. He said the government also welcomes airline companies to initiate international flight operations at the airport. Lok said, however, such airlines must obtain prior permission and approval from the Civil Aviation Authority of Malaysia, CAAM, and the Malaysian Aviation Commission, MAVCOM. In the meantime, Malaysia is exploring the implementation of a QR code system at several main entry points to address congestion issues. Immigration Director General Datuk Ruslin Jusoh said the details on the use of QR codes would be announced by the Home Ministry in due time. Speaking to the media in Putrajaya on Monday, Ruslin said that one of their commitments is to address congestion at the country's main entry points, such as in Johor.
Memang kita tengah explore, tengah buat kajian sekarang ni, dah selesai kajian, dan sekarang ni kita tengah buat ujian. Dan pengumuman untuk perkara ni akan dibuat pengumuman oleh Kementerian Dalam Negeri kerana dekat awal ni benda ni masih lagi belum dilaksanakan.
Ruslin also said the priority is to find a process that facilitates and accelerates movement in and out of the country's entry point without compromising on security aspects. On December 3rd, the Johor government proposed that the federal government consider adopting a digital QR code system similar to Singapore. It was learned that the system is capable of addressing congestion at the Customs, Immigration and Quarantine CIQ complex in the state. The establishment of a China-ASEAN Research and Development R&D Center to discuss issues related to climate change, food security, innovation, renewable energy and artificial intelligence is being proposed. Dewan Rakyat Speaker Tan Sri Johari Abdul said a special team could be established to identify any potential institution, especially in Malaysia, to be turned into an R&D center. Johari said this was among matters discussed when he received a courtesy visit from the Legislative Council of the Hong Kong Special Administrative Region led by its President Andrew Leung Kwan Yuen at the Parliament Building on Monday.
Kalau boleh diperkenalkan China ASEAN, maknanya ASEAN mempunyai 680 juta manusia. Jadi dengan China bergabung dengan kita mewujudkan collaboration untuk R&D ini ianya akan membantu bukan saja ASEAN tetapi juga negara-negara Asia di region ini.
According to him, Hong Kong is also ready to receive more students from Malaysia to be prepared in various aspects to help streamline the country's preparations to face an influx of foreign investors. Meanwhile, in conjunction with the 50th anniversary of diplomatic ties between China and Malaysia this year, Johari said Beijing hopes that bilateral trade relations, especially with Hong Kong, can be further increased. Both parties also hope that the use of their local currencies in trade can be increased in an effort to reduce dependency on the US dollar. In 2023, Hong Kong was Malaysia's 9th biggest global trader, the 4th biggest export destination, and the 16th largest source of imports. Malaysia's total trade with Hong Kong in 2023 amounted to 105.09 billion ringgit. On another matter, Johari said he has yet to receive any notification from Bersatu concerning the status of its 6 members of parliament MPs who had pledged support to Prime Minister Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim. As such, the Dewan Rakyat Speaker said the status of the 6 MPs remains unchanged.
Siapa pun tak call, siapa pun tak tulis, satu surat pun tak datang, satu email pun tak ada. So saya anggap tak ada apa-apa berlaku. Selagi benda itu tak datang kepada meja saya, tidak ada apa-apa yang akan berlaku. Oh, tetap masih MP. Tak ada apa-apa berlaku.
Johari also said he would not interfere in Bersatu affairs. On April 2nd, the Registrar of Societies, ROS, approved the amendment to the Bersatu's constitution which enables the party to act against its MPs who declared their support for the unity government. Through this amendment, the 6 Bersatu lawmakers are required to immediately vacate their seats. They are Dato' Syed Abu Hussein Hafiz Syed Abdul Faizal, Dato' Zulkafperi Hanapi, Zahari Kecik, Muhammad Azizi Abu Naim, Dato' Iskandar Zulkarnain Abdul Khalid, and Dato' Suhaili Abdul Rahman. 1 ton of crystal meth seized in Thailand. News from the foreign front when we return.
Koloni warga Afrika cetus kebimbangan. Provokasi melampau jadi taktik ganggu pihak berkuasa. Saksikan 999 Selasa jam 9 malam di TV3 dan stream sekarang melalui Tonton.
Mereka ini sebenarnya dalam usaha mencari jalan singkat untuk menghapuskan dosa-dosa mereka.
Letupan bom di pusat hiburan di Puchong sah angkara kumpulan militan Daesh.
Ekstremisme ini juga suatu ideologi yang salah dalam memahami agama Islam itu sendiri.
Welcome back. Thai authorities have intercepted a ton of crystal methamphetamines in one of the kingdom's biggest ever single seizures of the illegal drug. Acting National Police Chief Kita Rath Punpekt said the haul, with an estimated value of more than $25 million on the international market, was found when officers stopped a pickup truck in central Nakhon Nayok province on Friday. He stated that 40 bags of the drugs, weighing a ton in total, were found in the truck. The driver of the truck was arrested, but investigators believe that the head of the smuggling network is a Thai national based in a neighboring country. The kingdom is a major transit route for illicit drugs produced in the so-called Golden Triangle region, where northern Thailand, Laos and Myanmar meet. Israeli tanks, under cover from heavy fire from air and ground, pushed further into Jabalia in the northern Gaza Strip on Monday, with airstrikes hammered Rafah in the south. The attacks came despite U.S. warnings against a full-scale invasion of the crowded city and of the threat of post-war anarchy across the Palestinian territory. In Jabalia, tanks were trying to advance towards the heart of the refugee camp, with residents saying that the tanks' shells were landing at the center of the camp and that airstrikes had destroyed clusters of houses. Meanwhile, in Rafah, near the border with Egypt, the Zionist regime has stepped up aerial and ground bombardments on the eastern areas of the city, killing people in an airstrike on a house in the Brazil neighborhood. Israel has defied international warnings, including from its top ally, Washington, sparking an exodus of nearly 360,000 people from Rafah so far. In a sign of growing regional tensions, Egypt in the meantime said it would formally support an International Court of Justice case brought by South Africa accusing Israel of genocidal acts in the war. To date, at least 35,091 Palestinians have been killed and 78,827 were wounded in Israeli attacks on Gaza since October 7. A volcano in eastern Indonesia erupted again on Monday, spewing a huge ash tower more than 5 kilometers into the sky after authorities raised its alert level to the second highest last week. According to Geology Agency head Muhammad Wafid, the alert level remained at the second highest of a 4-tiered system, with an exclusion zone between 3 and 5 kilometers around the volcano's crater. However, no damage or casualties were immediately reported. The grey-black ash column from one of the biggest eruptions in recent months was observed with thick intensity, leaning towards the west. Therefore, nearby residents have been urged to wear face masks and glasses when going outdoors to protect against falling volcanic ash. On Saturday, the volcano erupted on a smaller scale, spewing lava, belching ash several kilometers into the night sky and causing lightning. Tuchel bids farewell to Allianz Arena Sports after this short break.
Mereka ini sebenarnya dalam usaha mencari jalan singkat untuk menghapuskan dosa-dosa mereka.
Letupan bom di pusat hiburan di Puchong sah angkara kumpulan militan Daesh.
Ekstremisme ini juga suatu ideologi yang salah dalam memahami agama Islam itu sendiri.
Saya nak kongsi rahsia ni.
Hati-hati kongsi rahsia kat pejabat tau.
Awak ni, saya cuma nak cakap yang nanti kita ada menu makanan Borneo.
40 resipi kami bawakan bersempena dengan ulang tahun ke-40 TV3 Jun nanti.
Mereka tak pernah diminta untuk dilahirkan sebegini.
Bukan pintaku, Rabu ini.
Jasa dan pengorbanan guru tiada galang ganti.
Istimewa untukmu, cikgu.
Salah ke kalau pasangan kita ni cerewet?
Saya rasa tak salah pun.
Semua dan banyak lagi di Wanita Hari Ini di TV3
dan stream ditonton.
Wanita Hari Ini.
Sports football, the German Bundesliga. Lovros Ronarek scored minutes into his first league start to help injury-hit Bayern Munich beat Wolfsburg 2-0 in Thomas Tuchel's last home game in charge. The 19-year-old Ronarek fired in for Bayern off the far post in the 4th minute after a move from the left side led by Alphonso Davies. Leon Goretzka doubled the advantage 9 minutes later, finishing off Thomas Müller's pass. The 2-0 scoreline remained till the final whistle, giving Bayern the 3 points to put them in second with 72 points, 2 points above Stuttgart. Still to come, immigration bust passport forging syndicate.
Koloni warga Afrika cetus kebimbangan. Provokasi melampau jadi taktik ganggu pihak berkuasa. Saksikan 999 Selasa jam 9 malam di TV3 dan stream sekarang melalui Tonton.
Malaysia hari ini sepanjang minggu.
Istimewa Hari Ibu, hargailah jasanya. Terima kasih, Ibu tersayang.
Jujur dalam perniagaan, fahami etika berniaga.
Isu jalan raya berlubang, ketahui hak anda sebagai pengguna jalan raya.
Juga bersama guru-guru hebat, kita raikan Hari Guru Kebangsaan.
Segmen soal wang. Bagaimana kita menguruskan hutang, gali lubang, tutup lubang.
MHI, Isnin hingga Jumaat juga stream melalui Tonton.
Thank you for staying with us. The Immigration Department busted the operations of the Ofu Bai syndicate, which has been falsifying passports for the past 2 years in Kajang, Selangor, last Friday. Its Director General, Dr. Ruslin Juso, said the 38-year-old Bangladeshi mastermind, known as Ofu Bai, along with his 40-year-old Filipino accomplice, were nabbed during the raid. Speaking to the media on Monday, the immigration DG said the syndicate had provided falsification services for expired passports ranging from 1,000 ringgit to 1,500 ringgit per passport.
Di mana mereka menggunakan pasport yang tulen tadi, pasport original yang expired tadi, menggunakan pasport tersebut dan meminda maklumat pada biodata pada pasport tersebut.
He explained that the syndicate would then use the falsified passports to secure approval from the Foreign Workers Medical Examination Monitoring Agency, FOMIMA, with charges ranging from 600 ringgit to 1,000 ringgit per document. A search of the premises uncovered a computer along with 211 passports comprising 199 Bangladeshi passports, 4 Indian passports, 3 Philippine passports, 3 Myanmar passports and 2 Indonesian passports. Also seized were 31 passport biodata cover sheets, 144 FOMIMA documents, various pieces of equipment used for document forgery and 16,000 ringgit in cash. The mastermind did not have travel documents or a valid passport to be in Malaysia, while his female partner was found to have overstayed. It is believed that the syndicate may have other networks operating elsewhere, and most of their transactions appear to have been conducted online. The 2 suspects have been remanded for 14 days at the Putrajaya Immigration Depot for further investigation under the Immigration Act 1959-63. In Perak, a fisherman and a restaurant assistant were jointly charged in the Taiping Magistrates Court on Monday with trafficking over 21 kilograms of heroin. The accused, Muhammad Fauzi Muhammad Mokhtar and Zulkarnain Malik, aged 42 and 47 respectively, only nodded after the charge was read out to them before Magistrate Nur Atika Sapari. However, no plea was recorded from both of them. Both accused were jointly charged with trafficking the drug at the parking area at Jalan Medan Simpang in Taiping at about 11:15 p.m. on May 3rd. The charge under the Dangerous Drugs Act 1952 and the Penal Code provides the death penalty or life imprisonment with a term of not less than 30 years, but not more than 40 years and 12 lashes if not sentenced to death upon conviction. The court did not offer bail and set July 12 for mention. As we wrap up Nightline, this time around, let's take a look at the fancy vivid yellow diamond, which could fetch more than $7 million when it goes under the hammer at Sotheby's auction in Geneva. Described as one of the largest in the world, the Alnat weighs 101.29 carats and is mounted as a Cartier brooch. With that, I'm Zahir, Kelvin Abdullah. Thank you for tuning in and take care.